Welcome to Stampscapes Live. We're just going to accessorize this piece a little bit. I've done it before, but I thought it was time to break out the luminous, chunky glitters. These are, for the most part, I think all of them are holographic glitters. Comes in a pack of 18 different colors, so you can really, have a lot to choose from. And on this one, since it's kind of like an yellow, these aren't aspen trees here, but aspeny looking, I don't know, kind of tones to it, I thought this one would go best. It has a little bit of a flash of green in it, but you can also see a little bit of like pink in a way. It's kind of weird, this type of glitter. You can look at it one way, then you apply it, and it almost seems like it's flashing a little bit of a different color, or it's more dominant, towards a certain hue that is a little bit more subtle in some angles, so I don't know, I can't figure it out completely. But it can be pretty cool. All right, so this scene was stamped out, and these green trees in here just had an absolute ton of ink on it because I used a pen. So I know that if I go over it with some white pigment ink right over the top of it, even though it's dry, it would drag some of that green out. It would go into my water-based pigment ink, and it would just start to spread wherever I apply this. Okay, so that being said, a workable fixative has been sprayed over the top of this. And I believe I sprayed it. I usually give it just a really thin spray, but I believe I sprayed it enough to lock down the colors on here, or the media on here. Hello, Mark and Linda. How are you tonight? All right, so let's give it a try here. Okay, so in the video last night, or the live stream, I really wanted to apply some of this white pigment ink over these trees a little bit, just to vary them. They're really solid looking and, very not varied really at all. So I wanted to just add in some light and texture into them, or areas of them a little bit. So you can see I'm kind of knocking back that one a little bit. There's this space in between the two trees, and it seemed like a pretty good opportunity to just vary the light in there a little bit like that. And why don't we do the same on this one? I think that looks pretty good. And it just puts a little bit of, or a lot of air into the scene. Okay, it looks airier and lighter and whatever, more textural. It does a lot of different things like that. Look at that light coming through those trees like that. It adds that atmosphere into the scene, okay? And oftentimes I feel that mood in scenery, bringing the emotion or adding emotion into a scene, it's often about this depiction of what's in between us and the objects. Okay, so in other words, if you put in some moisture in the air in between us and the object, it creates this soft lighting, and it really creates a really strong sense of I don't know, whatever the weather conditions, and I don't know, when you have this fog in there, it kind of represents temperature, everything like that. So you're really introducing this notion of kinesthetics and temperature and everything like that, air, wind, whatever, into a scene, okay? So just adding a little bit of that type of thing, so some softness too from a textural standpoint. All right, so I think that did it on there. By the way, I, of course, matted and as well as sealed this piece. And I figured I'm going to add this gold around here. If I'm going to add gold into the leaves, I figured it would be a good frame around this piece. All right, so I think that does it for the white here. We're kind of accessorizing this piece. All right, let's give this a try here. I haven't used these glitters in a while, but I really like the look of them. I just kind of forget about them sometimes, and you know, don't think about certain media that I haven't worked with in a while, but occasionally we'll get to something that's like, okay, I need a little bit more light in here, so you know, I'll think about these other types of things, or I want things to look a little bit more three-dimensional, so we'll add in things like, you know, dried leaves and actual three-dimensional objects, or I don't know if this is media. Okay, let's see. All right, so so the way I was thinking of glitter when I first started doing this with glitter is I just figured, you know, you put a few dots of glitter down on there, and then you just take glitter, and you pour it over there, and whatever sticks to it, sticks to it. But I found, oh, okay, that didn't really work out. There's like chunks of glitter, you know, in a ball, or some of it glitter's like hanging on to a drop of glue just by like a tiny micro corner, and it just comes right off. Okay, so I figured, oh, I just see these like these leaves now that I added down in this lower portion, these dried, you know, miniature leaves. I just see this as, oh, I don't know, a process that's, it might be a little bit more involved than something like adding those leaves, or maybe putting a little, you know, bit of drop of paint pen work, acrylic paint pen work on a piece or something like that. And it doesn't take much more time to do individual applications of glitter. So let's see here. I'm just using my scratch knife tip here, and it's one that has kind of this sharp kind of arrow tip. It's not sharp to the touch. I'm not gonna like cut myself with it or anything if I poke myself, but it's like a little, you know, angled tip there, or not angled, but arrowed, I don't know, whatever you call it, tip. So I'm just kind of pressing into, I'm assuming glitter is made out of plastic, a little bit of a really thin plastic. And just taking and applying these pieces. Oh, seems like one by one on here. So if you've done, if you played that surgery game as a kid, what was that surgery game where your operation? If you played Operation, you're all set. All right, so this is the way this is going right now. See this right here? You don't really even see it too much, but then it just kind of flashes like that a little bit in the light, like that. At certain angles that you didn't even see it, which is kind of cool, but then you just kind of go like that, and it kind of flashes that tone like that. And I tend to see that as kind of reminiscent of, I don't know, the way that I see things, if like you're hiking or going for a walk underneath a canopy of trees in full color. I love the way that light looks. It, to me, it's like, I feel like I'm walking in like a living stained glass, whatever, world or painting or whatever. I'm starting to find it hard to see my glue. The glue starts to set up a little bit and isn't as shiny and like a drop, like rounded drop anymore. This glitter is, there's a couple different sizes of glitter. Some of it's like dust. And this is called a chunky glitter. And I don't know, there's different kind of shapes. I think the larger pieces are hexagonal. Sometimes I think I wish that there were some that were more rounded. I can't remember. Okay, let me see if there's any more like that. But then there's some on that one side like that. I thought about, I do have a bunch of blue, different shades of blue too. There's like warm blue and neutral blue and light blue and a little bit darker. And that might be kind of interesting in the water to be flashing some of that. But I thought, it's going to be too much. Too much flashing, and it might be like gaudy to do that. I thought maybe we'll do that sometime, and just we'll just go crazy with some glitter, and we'll put it everywhere on everything. But I think this one will be best served to just use it a little bit more sparingly. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, I've lost, if there's any more little dots of glue right around in here, I can't see it anymore. It's all kind of dried. I think there's one right there. I can reapply it easily, but all right. So there we go, like that. It's like a jeweled, something like that. I do like that where it's like really obscured. Here's one it's just kind of flashing at the top of that one over there. Nothing down here because it doesn't have the angle like that. All right, so we have, I think that's going to be too far for the chunky glitter, those larger kind of pieces like that. So let's put some right in here on this tree, and maybe a couple pieces like right back in here. Maybe not down there. All right, so I just put that glue on one side, and then I'll just apply some on this side. I knew that I wouldn't make it all the way over to the second side before the that glue dried, so I didn't attempt that. All right. As I start doing this, I get a little gutsier, so I put a little bit of a larger dot of glue. I'm starting to pick up kind of more than one piece of glitter here too. They're kind of like stuck to each other with like, I don't know, whatever, probably static, energy or something like that. But I'm also kind of just spearing through some. And on the other side, I was just kind of being a little bit more careful to just grab one piece. But I noticed on a couple of these, some of the smaller pieces kind of adhered, or it's like, where it kind of grouped. I don't know if you can see that right there. And it applied some smaller pieces over there, which worked pretty good, I thought. So if I have like a cluster of them, that's fine. And then if some of them aren't adhered to any of the glue, I'll just shake it off. Something I never would have thought about doing or considered doing years ago. There were so many glitter demonstrations at conventions. I kind of had I didn't dislike glitter. People were having fun with it, but man, I would have glitter all over me and all over the stamps from going to shows years ago, because people would do make and takes and they would just be probably covered in glitter. And everyone's just going from booth to booth. There's like glitter over everything. You just saw glitter for, I don't know, like years afterwards. In all the convention displays and everything like that. All right, starting to lose my little beads of yellow. I guess it's good how fast the glue dries, huh, and disappears. I guess that's what we want. All right, let's see here. A couple more right up here. I think I need to reapply some glue though. I'm running out of my chunkier bits. Here, I'll apply some of the smaller ones. I'm going to do a sprinkle, which I said I usually don't do, but I think I have it all in the main areas that I want. So if I sprinkle some on and I hit some of those little areas where there's a little bit of a glitter that I can't see anymore, I guess that's fine. All right, so we have this. All right, let's see here. Tap off the excess. All right, this is what this is looking like right now. Okay. At certain angles, you really don't see too much of anything. Hello, Bill. Happy World Card Making Day. One made one, but better than nothing. Is it really? It's really World Card Making Day. I thought that was like National Rubber Stamping Day or something like that. Was it last week or something like that? Okay, look at this one right here. This one kind of flashes a few pieces, but then if you go kind of extreme, it's like you can see quite a bit in there. So that's pretty cool. But see, just like that, I mean, that's kind of like normal viewing right there. You know what I mean? People aren't going to be like holding this and going over it like that. You know what I mean? So kind of, if it's one of those things where something's on display and it's just kind of, you know, it looks a certain way, like that looks really cool. See, there's just more light coming off of those leaves like that. It's almost like that's the one spot at a certain angle where everything's alive, but you know what I mean? It's like a, I don't know, a couple centimeter kind of like sweet spot in terms of a complete flash. But I don't like that though. I like how it looks like that, or like, you know what I mean? Just a little bit less with some flashing, I don't know, some flashing lines like that, like this right down in here. I really love the look of that right there. I don't know, it's glitter, and it's, you know, I didn't used to use it, like I said, too much, because I don't know. I don't know if I thought it would look gaudy or whatever, but, you know, in terms of being out, kind of walking around in nature or something like that, I mean, I tend to think that looks a little bit more like it because we have a lot more reflected light out and about like that, and you have kind of lighting coming, things that are backlit. You know, on a scene like this, we're just working with white paper, so everything's reflected light, as is this in here, but it's actually reflecting more light. So you're putting really light in the scene where light is reflecting out of it. Okay, it's not just working with contrast. We see this white down here is light, but it's not actual light, it's just white. It's just contrast that's defining that. So, or these areas in here, lighter, you know what I mean? But it's the contrast around it. But this is actually light coming out of there, which is, I don't know, pretty fun to do. Okay, so that being said, we've added in a lot more contrast with that. So I thought maybe what we would do is to, let's see, maybe this one right here. Let's put a little bit more contrast just with paint into some of these leaves right here. Oh, Cynthia, good to see you. Oh, only made one. Okay, got it. One card. What? I don't know. That's pretty good, Bill. Have you used that paper that you sent out this way? Make something out of that paper, that decorative paper. That one's a tough one. It's good to, you can mat with it or something like that. I don't even know what type of paper that is. You can explain it to them, Bill. Okay, so let's see. Adding in a little bit of extra yellow shimmer into here. I get you probably can't see that. I can barely see it right in front of me here. So I'm adding in a little bit more of these lighter yellow bits in here. We'll probably need to go even lighter for a little bit more contrast. I'm just kind of, now that the light is there, that's a lot lighter than the yellow around it. So I'm just kind of bringing it something a little bit closer to it in value. The closest thing would be white, of course, but we'll get to that here. Only thing about adding this gold kind of ahead of time was that. Now I'm touching it. I'm putting my fingerprints all over it. Oh, according to Stampin' Up, so Stampin' Up, that might have been Stampin' Up's kind of, that's their declared day or something like that then. Which is good. They're the ones that were big enough to, create something like that. I think there was I wonder who kind of designated like the world, like National Scrapbooking Day. I heard about that way back when. Maybe one of the publications or something like that. Scrap and Stamp, or I don't know. What was the biggest scrapbooking entity? Let me see here. All right, here's white. Oh, here's another good thing too. I spray sealed this, so when you're applying the white, when I was applying the white over it, it was kind of merging a little bit physically, probably, with the tones underneath it. So when you apply a light color over a darker one after it's been spray sealed, you don't have that physical merging. So I might have a better chance of kind of retaining the real lighter value of this white, applying it over the sealant, the spray fixative acrylic, rather than just going directly onto our other, water-based media underneath here. So I don't need to be too careful about it, but sometimes I apply a little bit more of white pigment ink, white paint pen, gel, paint pens, knowing that it's going to fade a little bit, or not really fade, but, just darken. All right, so keep that in mind if you spray seal. For me, I don't know if it's changing my application of this at all. Unless I was going to add like a ton of it. All right, I think this is better though. I'm having these little white highlights in here. And the flashing kind of lights of the glitter kind of merge a little bit better, I guess, texturally or lighting wise, maybe. All right, there we go. A little bit more alive, I think. What do you think? That. Oh no, you can't see any of the glitter at all at that angle. Let's see. Let's go here like that. Maybe if I need to go a little. I'm putting it at an angle so you can't see it at all. It's kind of interesting though, huh? Let's see. I don't know. Do we need to go flat for you to see that? Yeah, maybe on this case. I have two lights coming in at roughly like 45-degree angles around my desk here. But anyways, you see that right there? Here, like this. You can see that different lighting in there on the trees. Look at all that. There's quite a bit of glitter right here. Like, I wouldn't want it like that all the time. It's too much. Or like that on the other side, but I think that looks pretty good like that. You know, just where it kind of flashes. Here. My cardstock was a little bit bowed. It's kind of hot out here, so my paper was a little bit curled when I mounted it. But anyway, let me see if I can get this straight so that YouTube will grab the thumbnail with it flashing a little bit of that color. See, it's like that glitters all. You can see that glitter all over my hand more than you can on the scene right here. Here we go, like that. I'll go like this. All right, there we go. So here we go, like that. Then you can do this. It's my button for turning on the glitter or making it flash. So anyway, all right. So a good way to get a little bit of maybe like light into your scenes without going into something like LEDs or something like that. You know what I mean? And I love LEDs, but you know what I mean? It's a lot more of a, kind of an in-depth process, for people to add in those types of things. It'd be cool to add in a bunch of like cabins around some lake on probably a larger piece, 8.5 by 11 full size, and to have like LED lights coming out of the cabins. That would be really cool. Or the, the Halloween stuff, having some orange lights coming in there. But, I'll have to play around with some of the, we have a lot of Halloween stuff now. So there's, like orange here and, what is it? The orange, like this one right here would be a good one. And there's purples or something like that. These are always kind of fun. I always feel like I'm I don't know, it's like if you go off to like gold country or something like that, they're always selling those like bottles of like gold dust or something like that. Yeah, here it is right here. Like that purple one right here. But these three right here would be a cool kind of Halloween type of scenario. Maybe not with the super aged ones that I've been doing, but maybe some more colorful ones we can do that with. I guess these ones are the three ones right here. There's a little bit of that greenish tinge to that. You see that used in Halloween things. But here's the one right here. Like these blue ones like this. Maybe this one has a little bit too much purple in it, but these greenish tinges with a little bit of blue. Maybe it's more like this. For like water, sparkles in the water or something like that. Might be kind of interesting. I don't know, Cynthia, you were talking about like waterfalls. It would be fun to kind of add some of the shimmer at the base of the waterfall. And, you can kind of obscure it a little bit too with some of that white pigment ink. I don't know if you put it, I guess you'd put it underneath it and spray it off and then put it within there. So it's like this little flash of, color coming out of there. In these churning waters or something like that. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, right down in here, I'd probably put a few little flashes if I didn't already have all of this going off, you know what I mean? So I for me, unless there's some certain kind of scenario, I'm doing like a I don't know, the fountain of light or something like that, or a, volcano or I don't know, something with, a lot of, like a shower of light coming down, to illuminate everything. Um, I don't know. I probably do a little bit more of a lighter application of this glitter, just because it's potentially really loud. You know, if I did it across everything in here. But I don't know, trees in here. I should do one though that's kind of more of a like a super gaudy. I don't know. It would be like a not those foil ones, but there's those. Or is it those foils? Those foils that you can apply that they're kind of glitter foils on something, and try to make something up, like I said, more like a stained glass type of thing where there's kind of universal textures over everything. So we do everything like, I don't know, whatever blue areas and whatever, and trees would be green or something like that, just to, I don't know, just go crazy with it. Might be kind of interesting. I'd probably be cleaning off glitter off my desk for the next 2 years if I did something like that. Even if I didn't use it again for 2 years. Okay, yeah, Stampin' Up. Yeah, it's kind of fun, huh, Linda? And it's kind of nice that, you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, you did some glitter too, right? I don't know. I don't think we've done like glitter in a while. Hello, Crystal Fire Creations. Good to see you. Hello, Debbie. Debbie, I use the Barely Art. It's because it's the only one I have. So I don't know. There's other. I noticed. Okay, so I noticed there's a lot of like glitter glues out there, and I think it's because when I started looking up glitter, I was just assuming that it was a lot of the glitter that you look up. A lot of it's for fingernail applications. It seems so. Like a lot of them were, as I've mentioned before, they're holographic. Hello, Noala. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in here. If anyone's just joined in, so I added the yellow chunky glitter here. You can see it kind of flashes a little bit of green. There's a little bit of orangish, pink, I guess more pinkish tinge to it. I don't know if you can see that in there. But we've added that into these yellow trees here. And I was telling people that I like it because it just kind of gives a little hint of some of that flashing glitter reflective tone at certain angles. So it just kind of wakes up those trees a little bit like that with reflective light coming out of the card like that. So, and then I put this gold border around there just to kind of, contain that kind of flashing light type of thing in there. But that's what that look can gonna go for like that. See like that? It kind of runs across there. It kind of like, it starts up here and it like illuminates as you go down like that, with the angle like that. So it's like light kind of like a time lapse thing where you have light running through there. See that right there? Okay. At the count of 3, you're going to be completely relaxed and asleep. I said it was kind of like hypnotizing myself here looking at that. But see this right here. I mean, if you have it at a certain angle, it's like it's not overly gaudy, what you would think. I'm going to use this glitter on my a scene right here, and there's a pretty good amount of it. But I don't know if it's just because it's the holographic one, so it shows like different things and colors at different angles or whatever. But I don't know because I didn't buy like a ton of different ones. I have like the chunky holographic luminous glitter like that. And then I have the glow in the dark powders too, which I have to play around with at some point in time too. This would be something, I don't know, you can do other things too, like those luminous glow in the dark powders too. They come in all kinds of different colors. So maybe we go with like something for the the trees. So when you see them in whatever natural light or whatever um, reflective light like that, they flash in the trees. But then you can possibly add in a bunch of luminous glow in the dark powder, glitter, not glitter, but powder in the waves. Then you flip off the lights, and it would be kind of interesting if this thing came alive in the dark, and then these things are coming alive in the light. So you'd add in these little twists, you know what I mean, that people can kind of discover. I don't know if I would leave it up to discovery. If you were sending out a card like that to someone, you'd probably let them know. Otherwise, they might never see it, you know what I mean? Or notice it unless they have it on display. It's getting charged up in the light and they flip off the light and it's like, oh, you know. But it'd be kind of interesting to put like some of that luminous glow in the dark powder like on these wave crests like that or something like that. You put a little bit on these ones right here. You have to kind of put a decent amount of it for it to really capture that light. And then maybe have a little bit up here or something like that. But that would be pretty interesting. You know, you have a day and night type of whatever, light reactive cards like that. I don't know. October challenge, Linda, in the Facebook group. Light reactive, light reactive landscapes. Some LRLs. They were just termed, gave her a new technique or whatever scenarios, a good acronym there. Right here in this live video. It would be really pretty to use white glitter in the snow. Yeah, that'd be a great one, Debbie. I think some people have done that, or have they? Someone did a bunch of snow scenes recently. Maybe those ones were just the puffy paint ones, though. I'm thinking of, but did they? I'm trying to think if they added glitter to it too. But yeah, we should do something like that. That would be awesome. It'd be, you know what I mean? It'd be awesome to do like a moonlit night, like a full moon over a snowy landscape, and then to put that kind of that white glitter into the illuminated areas right underneath the moonlight. I don't know. Fun stuff with glitter. I said this in the past, and I keep saying this, but this glitter's flat, but I think these pieces, landscapes, even just with this little bit like this, these little leaves, they're semi-flat, or, and the glitter's a little bit, it's a little bit dimensional, of course, but I think these types of things can really add a nice element into landscapes, because landscapes are like, you know what I mean? They're really capable of having, so many different personalities. They can be like super expressive, and you can have a lot of different personalities, or I don't know about a lot. Maybe if you leave it, even like 2 or 3 different personalities in one piece or something like that, or just give it some little twist like that, something a little more obscure, like I said. The extreme would be the glow in the dark stuff, I think, where, because we're normally not looking at any cards like in the dark. But if you can have some sort of element to it like that, I think it would be pretty fun. There's glow in the dark paints and things like that too that are not very visible as a whatever application. So you can do like some kind of sky up here or something like that. I would probably tint it a little bit, but you can use something like a glow in the dark paint where some sky. It has a little bit of this tinge of this, I don't know what color that is, yellowish tone or something like that. But if you gave kind of like some kind of tone up there in like a daytime type of sky where it's just white, but then you do this like kind of obscured like orb of glow in the dark paint or something like that. And then when you flip off lights, you have a moon up there instead, so instead of this open sky and daylight, it turns into a nighttime scene with, you know, maybe some glow-in-the-dark paint. And then you have some glow-in-the-dark powders or something like that, wherever you want to apply it. And it would take on a kind of a new personality. If it would work, you know. The one thing about those glow-in-the-dark paints and the powders is you have to, like I said, I think you have to have a pretty heavy application of them in order for them to capture enough light to retain light long enough, you know. I don't think it's worth it. Like, you know, some of those paints, if you put on like a really thin coating, I've done it before, where it's really obscure, and then you charge it up with light, and then you flip off the lights, and it lasts like, I don't know, like 5 seconds or something like that. That's not really that's not worth our time. But if you can build it up a little bit. Oh, so I think what I did was I put some of that paint down, and then I used the powder over the top of the paint, so you're hitting it with like 2 things instead of 1. So instead of like using a glue, sometimes you can use some of that paint, use it as a glue. So you have this base layer of, you know, whatever light reactive foundation, as opposed to just, you know, like a white glue or something like that. And that paint's pretty good for being used as a glue because it's an acrylic. Add glitter to your scene. I'm kind of joking in many ways, but I don't know. Yeah, it could be just anything light reactive. Do a glow in the dark, glitter, or what is that? Glow in the dark glitter, or was there one other thing? I can't remember. I don't know if anyone in our group, a lot of people have like glow in the dark paint or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that'd be fun, huh? Or if people, I don't know, I don't think a lot of people have that glow in the dark stuff, Linda. I know you do. But yeah, anything light reactive maybe. Or they can use foil, you know, may have them do a foil scene or something like that, like a reflection card or something like that, or stamping on foil, you know what I mean? Something that'll flash light back out, you know, from within the scene like that. Yeah, right, Debbie. All right, so folks, yeah, a little bit of accessorizing here, you know, with the glitter, the chunky glitter here. Let me see if that's all glued down here. Some of it came out, but for the most part, it mostly stuck like that. Maybe it'd be a good idea for me to spray seal this again. I don't know. I don't know what that would do with the glitter. But I don't know. I think it's pretty well adhered. If you mail something like this off, you know, I don't know, maybe put a piece of like a wax paper over it or something like that, just to protect it in transit. But for the most part, I think it's pretty well adhered like that. You know, that barely art glitter is really strong, so yeah. I don't know. That adds a lot of excitement into it. I thought, okay, if this thing really turns out the way that I remembered it looked. I gave away those scenes that I did the glitter on like a long time ago, but I was looking at some videos where I was looking at it. It's like, oh, that really worked really well. But I was wondering if I would do it with this one here. You know, if it looked really good on this one, I thought, you know, I don't know. I'm probably going to have to do it with that other one. You know what I mean? It'll bug me. But I don't know, it has its own look to it, though, too. This one has a little bit of a different look to it. But if it's a better look, though, you know. And I didn't even add some of this down here. I thought it'd be a little bit overkill because I've already added in the dried leaves, or the dried miniature leaves down here. I thought having some of this glitter down there, maybe not. Maybe this is supposed to be like light shining through the back of the leaf, you know. Backlit leaves, backlit fall leaves, and maybe these ones are just, you know, the ones on the ground where it's, you know, we're seeing reflective light like that. Yeah, oh yeah, the glow-in-the-dark paint pen. Christopher, you might have mentioned that. Someone mentioned that before in those previous ones. I think we asked if that glows, you know, how does it glow? Does it hold a good charge to it? Yeah, the glow-in-the-dark paint pens would be really convenient. It's probably like a 3mm, I'd have to think. Is it a felt tip? Or is it like a smaller one, like a 0.7, you know, with that plastic tip? I guess they could put glow in the dark paint in something like this. Or would it be too? Glow-in-the-dark paint in something like this too. It might be too watery though, I'm thinking. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, maybe remind us if that glows really well in terms of, holding a charge like that. Time to break out those glitters, huh, Linda? On some of these. Especially for the fall leaves. I want to do some more kind of reddish orange ones too. We have so many different options as far as the glitter in here go. Those mystic ones, I've done those purple trees before. This would be perfect, I think, in those purple leaf, I don't know, whatever, springtime, I don't know, whatever. Not really jacarandas, they could be, though, or something like that, but we can go for something like that, too. But works well with black light. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's all those things work so awesome with the black lights. I thought one of these days I'm going to do like this black light live stream or something like that. I kind of joked about that before about, I was kind of all watching that and burning out our whatever rods and cones or whatever in our eyes, but it might be kind of fun. But yeah, those things like glow so well under a black light though. Make an 80s party themed scene. Yeah, that'd be fun. What would that look like though? Neon. Glow-in-the-dark paint pens hold the charge quite nice. Okay, good. Well, that would be convenient for sure. What I would do with the glow-in-the-dark paint pen, though, see, I would color in, like all in here, and then I'd probably sprinkle a little bit of that powder on top, too. And that powder might look kind of cool in some of these areas like this, where it's all misty and whatever like that, too. So, All right, folks. Just a real quick one right here today. And testing out this glitter again, chunky glitter. I don't know when I used it last, but I guess it hasn't been too long. But I don't know. Nothing kind of came to mind in this application here that I kind of forgot about. It just, like I said, it's just kind of putting a few dots down there, and I would kind of apply it kind of more like in a surgical fashion than kind of just sprinkling a bunch of it over the top of it and then like tapping all of it off. That way it was a little bit of a mess for me, and it didn't take too long to apply, a pretty decent amount onto these trees like this. If you're doing like an 11 by 17 and it's full of these trees, maybe you're, just sprinkling it on there and just tapping it off, the excess off. But something like this, I don't know, I would just apply it kind of, whatever, more methodically like that. Then you get it exactly where you want it to go. Hello, Crete with Ladiva. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in here. Well, you didn't miss the kind of the creation of this card. All I did in this video was I added in the glitter onto, kind of trees like this. This is the smaller version of this full page scene. What we did was I put a few dots of glue over the tops of these larch trees. I remembered it from the last video. Someone reminded me of larch. And then we took our chunky glitter like this. And then I put a few drops of glue with this, with our precision craft glue. And I added it in right around in here. And then I just, poured some of this out on a, I have a little palette. And then I just added each one of these little bits of glitter onto each one of those little dots. It sounds like a tedious process, and it's really not. It didn't take too long to do. I mean, you can do a little bit of sprinkling on there if you want to too, as I was mentioning. You can see right here, it's like more of those larger pieces of glitter. And it starts to move into some of the smaller ones. And when I get over here, it's like a bunch of the smaller ones because I was grabbing a bunch of them. I just kind of spear them with this little tip right here and put them on there. So I don't know, you can even probably grab them with your finger and just the moisture in your finger and kind of lay it down like that and put it on a little whatever dot of glue that you've applied with this. When you're doing this dough, have a, pretty decent little dot of glue so that it adheres to it. I find that that's easier. I was kind of going for like a smaller little dot thinking it only has to hold like one piece of glitter, but then I found out that, and it seems easier just have a decent sized little dot of glue, because when you're transferring it over, if you put it into that little dot of glue, it grabs it really nicely, and I just, this comes off. When it's just a really tiny bit of glue, that vacuum of the whatever adhesion to the base of that piece of glitter, sometimes it's like I'm coming off and it's like I'm bringing the glitter off with it. So decent little bead of glue underneath there, and that bead, of course, when it dries, it goes flat anyway. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Have some fun with some glitter on there, and I don't know. In some other scenario, we'll do some on some water, I think. I don't remember doing it on water before. I probably have. But like some glitter, like a moon, like on like over a sea or something like that, and having that kind of glitter throughout that, flashing that light on that little reflective light that's often, you see on a body of water with like a light source on the far end. I think that would be really good. We have the lighthouse too. We can do that too, where you have that reflective light on the, maybe from the lighthouse or something like that down there. I don't know. All kinds of scenarios with the glitter popping in my head now. What was it again? Happy World Card Making Day. Tomorrow I think is National Glitter Day as well. So break out that glitter. Break out your what was that? Sparkles, right? Sparkles is that glitter paint that comes in those bottles too. I think I had some of that, but a lot of them were like completely dry because they're like from 30 years ago. All right, folks, have a great rest of evening, and hope to see you on the next live. Let me know how it goes with the glitter.